Real person jump scare. Ooh. Alright, so let's get down to business. Why am I on your screen? Well, it's because I'm bored. And I want to rant about stuff, but nobody wants to listen to me, so I'm gonna do it here. Story short, over the last few years, I've really been getting into the sort of like video essay side of YouTube, and I really thought it was interesting. I've taken a lot of inspiration from channels like Jeffiat and like other channels like that. I don't remember any off the top of my head. Is R60 one of them? Like he's a Minecraft ARG YouTuber type guy. Posture's one of them. Posture's one of them. I love Posture. I don't know if any of the names I've just mentioned are actually going to wind up seeing this video, but if you do, hi, big fan. Especially for like just listening to stuff in the background. I love listening to fucking words. I like listening to video essays because there's something that I can put on in the background and just tune out, or like play games while doing, or like do art while doing, or just like have to listen to while I'm bored. It's just information I can absorb, and recently, because I finally have had the freedom to go out and play all the video games that I never got to play as a kid, or never got to experience growing up, I've really come across a lot of different things that I would suspect that most of you would already know about. Things like Minecraft, Roblox. I was never even really allowed to touch like Call of Duty and stuff as a kid because my parents were too worried that it'd make me turn out violent. But I'm literally, look at this. This is not the appearance of somebody who is physically capable of fighting a fight. I don't fight people. I don't do violence. The logic is kind of lost on me. I began to get into it because I had always had a love for gaming from the few games I was really allowed to play, and I finally got my hands on the laptop that I'm actually recording this video on now, and I finally got my hands on all the stuff I needed, and I finally make money so I can enjoy that stuff, and yeah, now I finally play whatever the fuck I want. Which is mostly Rainbow Six Siege, because I'm cringe like that. I really chose to play Rainbow Six Siege. Yeah. Regarding my life decisions. Regardless of that, I really always loved horror movies growing up. Well, not like growing up, like around the age of 12.
She said she was 12!
I started getting into horror as a thing with like the creepypasta era. I heard a lot about creepypastas. One of my personal favorites was Slender Man. Love that guy. He's just tall boy. I'm actually planning on doing a re-raid or like a reconstruction or reimagining of Slender Man. So if you guys want to see that or something, I can always start working on it and drop you a link or something. I have a Wattpad account. Not for the reasons that you think, though. I don't read that kind of book. Regardless of my past or my obsessions, the main reason why I wanted to make this video is to talk about 3 horror games that I fell in love with because they're just good, and I really liked them. So I just kind of want to talk about maybe like the franchises a little bit, but more specifically the games in those franchises, except the last one because it's not a franchise that I played that I kind of fell in love with and made me love the general community. This is also kind of just a get to know me kind of thing. I'm just gonna be yapping for like, I don't know, like what, an hour? I've been putting up with some serious fucking bullshit on all the games that I play. I play For Honor, Rainbow Six Siege, and Fortnite, and let me tell you, those games are not fucking good for your mental health. Don't play them. Had to clean the microphone. There are 3 games out there, as I stated, that I absolutely adore because they just mean a lot to me and I just kind of vibe with them. So I'm just going to go into them, and I will admit there is no script for this video at all. I'm just going to be going off the top of my head. If I need to look something up, I'm just going to look it up on the spot with my phone, because I don't want to get any of the details wrong, but I still want to yap, so we're just going to do that. Okay, so here's the deal. I'm going to be an idiot, and you guys are going to watch me be an idiot, and then you're going to hit the like button at the end of the video because you thought it was funny. Does that sound good? Okay, we're going to do that. Let's get kickstarted with the first franchise that I wanted to talk about, which is Silent Hill. I really want to put a graphic on screen of the Silent Hill logo. I wonder if I can do that. If I can do that, it'll be up on screen now. Editing me will sort that out. Anyway, regardless, Silent Hill. The first game that I played in the Silent Hill franchise was actually Silent Hill 2, but that's not actually the game that I learned about the franchise from. The game that I actually learned about the franchise from was the worst Silent Hill game of all, at least in my opinion, and I think it should be everyone else's opinion because it's, well, the only one worse than that is Book of Memories, but that was trash anyway, so I think we all agree on that one just being not a Silent Hill. It just didn't happen. We don't talk about Book of Memories. But the worst Silent Hill game, at least in my opinion, is Homecoming. I didn't like Homecoming. Homecoming was absolute fucking trash. But reading about it from the walkthrough guide that my mom had because she was a big Silent Hill fanatic, I learned a lot about it, and it actually reveals quite a bit of the Silent Hill lore in that book, and I learned quite a bit about it and thought it was interesting. So I started pestering my mom to see if she had any Silent Hill games left or any, because we didn't have an Xbox 360 at that point. We had sold it, but we forgot to sell the book with it, so it just didn't exist anymore. So, seeing as we didn't have that one, I begged her to try and let me try one of the games. Like it's got to be somewhere. If I get my own copy with like my birthday money or something, like can I play it? You like the games. And keep in mind, I was about like what 14 at the time, and she was like, you know what? Okay, let me see if I can dig out one of my old copies of the Silent Hill games. I think I got one somewhere. And it turns out that the oldest game that she had, because I believe she also had, was it Silent Hill 4 she also had? I think she had a copy of Silent Hill 4 for the PlayStation 3, which we did have at the time. Anyway, so she pulled out a copy of Silent Hill 2 for the PlayStation 2, and I was like, okay, that works for me. I'm going to play it when I get the chance. And I did play it, and oh my god, this game is fucking insane. I really like Silent Hill for several reasons, and I'm going to go over them. I don't actually think there's any flaws with this game whatsoever. It's just perfect. You cannot dispute anything being bad about Silent Hill 2. It's just a masterpiece. Regardless, I say regardless a lot. I should switch up my vocabulary. Anyway, so great game. The main things that I liked about Silent Hill 2 were... Should I talk about what I liked about it first? Like I said, there's no script to this, so I'm just kind of going off my own head. You know what? Let's talk about the plot first. Spoiler warning, and also content warning. Leave now if you don't like mentions of suicide, blood, gore, severe chronic illness, or just anything spooky dooky that you're gonna put in a video game about psychological horror. Alright, so Silent Hill 2, James. He plays James Sunderland. He's this dude, he's all kind of depressed because his wife died, but then all of a sudden, even though she's been dead for years, he mysteriously gets a letter from her saying, oh, I'm in Silent Hill. The place we went for our honeymoon, back when it wasn't a nightmare town. And he's like, oh my god, my wife's in Silent Hill. Is this real? Is this real? Did this happen? Is it happening? Can I go there? And he does go there. He goes to Silent Hill. He rocks up, and he goes to a graveyard and meets the first character of the game. My personal favorite character, Angela Roscoe. Absolutely love her character. She speaks to me in a way that just no other character ever has in horror media. I just love everything about her character, and it's a really good representation of victims of SA. I won't say the full name here on YouTube because I will get demonetized. Just kidding, I'm not monetized, but they'll probably take the video down. But anyway, I think she's just a really good representation of that, and as somebody who has dealt with that and has friends who have very close to me who have dealt with that, I feel like it was a very accurate portrayal, and for a game that was made in 2001, I think that they were very brave for speaking about that. Mental health wasn't really discussed back in 2001. It was, like, therapists and stuff were a thing, and, like, nobody was like, oh my god, you go to a therapist, you fucking weirdo. No, like, it was, like, a genuinely respected practice, but nobody was willing to talk about their feelings. Like, oh, your feelings? Oh, fuck, get that out of here. But regardless, I think it was a very good representation of several different mental health conditions, and just generally the decline of mental health. So I want to talk about a few of the characters and just the generalized plot and how it like relates to the ideas that Team Silent were trying to put forward. So anyway, so we are going to be going into character analysis a little bit, but not much. I don't want to overdo it. First character you meet, Angela Roscoe. She's very clearly not all there. Like, she's sane, but she's not very conscious of her surroundings. She's very, very daisy, and she just keeps telling you that she needs to find her mom, and you're like, okay, yeah, but is this way to Silent Hill? And he's like, oh, yeah, and she's like, oh, yeah, no, it's this way. You just gotta go through here, and then you'll be in Silent Hill. I hope you get there. I hope you find who you're looking for. And he's like, yeah, you too. And then he goes off and he wanders into Silent Hill, and the town is just completely fucking abandoned. And there's a really creepy fog everywhere, which is a trademark of Silent Hill, as I'm sure any of you who have played the games or seen any of the movies or any of the extra Silent Hill media, because I believe there is a comic book series somewhere out there, will know. Let me tell you, walking into Silent Hill for the first time is haunting. You hear about this lovely, quiet little mining town that's just sleepy and eepy, and everybody's quiet and chill, and, you know, it's supposed to be, like, thriving, and you just walk in, and there's nothing. There's just nothing except creepy ambient sounds, fog, and blood in the middle of the road. Bro, do you understand how fucking creepy that is? So anyway, regardless, you keep plowing on and you follow this blood trail because that's a good idea. And you eventually stumble upon this, I don't really know how to describe it. I'm going to put it here if my overlay green screen capabilities will allow me to. Probably going to use CapCut or something to edit this video. I don't know what I'm going to use. I pay for CapCut Premium, so I might as well use CapCut Premium. You know what? Fuck it. Fancy transition into the next subject. The monsters of Silent Hill are very interesting because it turns out that if you look very closely throughout each of the Silent Hill games at the protagonist and then at the monsters, you'll see that the monsters often portray a lot of the points of their psychological discombobulation, which I think is a really cool idea. I think it helps portray the characters more, and it also helps show like what they're going through and like what their problems are. And I think that's just something that's very poetic and kind of beautiful, you know, like fighting your own demons or whatever. So yeah, big props to whoever came up with that idea. Who worked on Silent Hill again? Let me look it up. Lead developer of Team Silent. Alright, so it looks like it was a guy called Akihiro Imamura. Wait, no, that was the lead programmer. Lead developer. Team Silent. Director was Kichiro Toyoma. Akira Yamaoka did the music, which I love Akira Yamaoka. He's fucking badass. Can't find exactly anybody to praise for it, but props to Akira Yamaoka for the soundtrack. Fucking banger, dude. Anyway, moving swiftly forward. I didn't say regardless. Gotcha. Alright. Moving on. This is a lying figure. They are very easy to kill. This creature, you know, and I'm gonna lean over this side and we put him up there. So this little guy he can kill you, but not very easily. He sort of spews this weird liquid from like his chest area. There's sort of like a cavity here, which you'll probably be able to see on the picture. He's got like a cavity going on around here. And that spews like toxic gas at you. He doesn't have any arms, which is, sorry bro, that sucks for you. And he moves really slowly, and he also makes it really weird. I'll play a little clip of his audio noise somewhere in here to sort of give you an idea of what he sounds like, because he makes really unnerving sounds.
Is it dead?
So lying figures, very creepy, very cool, because we know that Mary, James' wife, Mary, had a disease, which, you know, obviously the disease was fatal or whatever. It's never exactly stated what it is. But, you know, this, you know, bedbound, restrained, you know, sort of coughing up phlegm and blood and whatever else. You know, it's pretty gruesome, and it's a pretty gruesome thought, and I think this does kind of portray it in some way, because it's a creepy fucking design, okay? You know, I can't wait for the remake, because these guys are gonna go hard. Regardless, oh, fuck, I said it again. Alright. I can just go to the next section that I want to talk about. I don't have to transition it. I don't know why I feel like I gotta do that. I'm just acoustic. Anyway. I am not used to talking for long periods of time. Apologies. Alright, so there were a lot of other monster designs. The nurse is pretty clear symbolism. You know, it's a nurse. You've got Pyramid Head, who we will talk about in a second, mind you, because I've got a whole tangent for him. So we'll talk about him afterwards. We've also got the, are they called Fat Daddies? I forget what these are called. They got Daddy in the name somewhere. He's a boss, and then he gets demoted to regular enemy in the last level of the game. But he's not very hard boss fight. But that actually links directly into Angela's story, which I think is pretty interesting. Remember how I said SA? Yeah. Daddy probably, Angela's daddy probably would have shown up to the P. Diddy party. Just saying. Yeah, he was one of those kind of guys. Yeah, not very cool. Anyway, yeah, you got these guys, you got those guys, you got these little fuckers. I fucking hate swarms. In any game, in any Silent Hill game, the swarms, fucking stupid. I don't like them. Get them out of here. You've also got the dogs. I don't understand what the dog doing, but it ain't good for me, whatever it is. And of course you got, you know, all your boss designs. There's not really a lot of bosses in this one. Mary has a secret boss. There's a secret boss ending, which is pretty cool. There's also the final boss of Mary herself, or Maria, which is a different story, which is a whole other subplot. But anyway, as you're working your way through the realms of Silent Hill, you come across all these different twisted-ass monsters, and they look really cool, and they're really creepy, and a lot of the concept art for them is really interesting. If you ever get bored and you want to look for, like, art inspo, just look up Silent Hill concept art. A whole fucking library of shit that's just good for, like, getting inspiration for spooky drawings. Excuse me a second. Man, I love Dr. Pepper. So where were we? Not many bosses in Silent Hill games, which I appreciate, because bosses, you know, the combat's not supposed to be a big part of Silent Hill like it is Resident Evil. You know, it's meant to be a much slower paced game. It's meant to, you know, really make you think and reflect, and, you know, that is one of the reasons I really don't like Homecoming. It's way too fast paced, it's way too, you know, combat heavy, and, you know, for a combat heavy game, it's got a shitty fucking combat system, and can be successfully beaten with one weapon. I am not fucking kidding. The sacrificial dagger is the best weapon in the game. So anyway, regardless of anything else that we were talking about, yeah, there's a few bosses, there's a couple bosses. They got some really good designs. I really like the designs of the bosses. And then, of course, we got Pyramid Head, who, like I said, we will talk about in a minute. But we actually went on a big tangent about the monsters and never got back to the story, so let's just quickly recap. So, James shows up. He's depressed. His wife died. He got a letter from her, even though she's dead, and it says, oh, their honeymoon spot in Silent Hill, which was a hotel off on the lakefront. So James wanders into Silent Hill. It's empty, it's foggy, it's creepy, and there's blood everywhere. So he follows the blood like a sane person would, and winds up fighting this guy, who we know is called the Lying Figure now. Because surprisingly few people know what those things are called. Like, the Lying Figure has multiple renditions, like the Smog from Silent Hill Homecoming. Something that I would know. Anyway, again, the tangents. I can't do this. I can't do this. I need a script. This is why I need a script. I go off on like 16 tangents at once. It's stupid. Anyway, so you fight the Lying Figure. You get a key for an apartment building. You go into the apartment building and you confront this little shit. This is Laura, and Laura's a dick. Yeah, I don't like Laura. She is a complete little asshole, and she is just constantly doing things to screw you over. For the entire game, she has no other purpose than to jump scare or annoy you. Usually both. There is one scene in the game where you walk into a room of the hotel in Silent Hill, and, yeah, you, for some reason, she just fucking jump scares you with a piano. I'll play the clip here.
Did I scare you?
Yeah, you see what I mean? That's all she does. The first time you see her, she literally kicks a key you fucking need away from you. Like, what the fuck, bro? Did you need to do that? I don't think that was exactly needed. Yeah, the entire game I disliked Laura. I think she's supposed to sort of be like the kid that James and Mary never had or something. There is some symbolism behind her, but for some reason she doesn't like James, which, okay, fair enough. And also she sort of like clues us into the idea that maybe Silent Hill is all in James's head, because he's like, a little girl like you, because she's 7 years old, shouldn't be running around with all these monsters. And she's like, what fucking monsters? The fuck you talking about, schizo bitch? She doesn't actually say that, of course, but she's very passive aggressive towards James the entire game, and I just don't like her. She's just kind of an asshole to everyone. It's just like, why did you need to be this annoying? I understand why she's in the game, of course, but it's just her general character traits that I don't particularly like. But regardless, again with the regardless, it's always one word that I can't stop saying. Anyway, all right, so moving on. We've already said that. It's fine. We'll work around it. We'll just keep going. So, anyway, you have this key kicked away from you, so you gotta try and navigate your way around the rest of the building. So you find a way to hop over to the other side, where you see Pyramid Head doing questionable things to a mannequin. Which is a bit like, okay, bro, calm down. There's plenty of people out in the real world that would like to do the same thing to you, probably consensually. I mean, it's a monster. Does it really need to give consent? Does it even have a... I mean, this scene could very easily be misinterpreted. This is janky-ass 2001 animations for the PS2. He could just be killing it. I don't know. It depends what it says in the official guide. I'm probably not gonna look it up. I'd rather hold the illusion. Anyway, Pyramid Head shows up. He does his thing. We shoot Pyramid Head a lot, but he's completely unaffected. And then we keep moving on, and we eventually find the next character in our little band of misfits, Eddie. This is one of my favorite characters out of any Silent Hill game ever, because he's just a goofy ass dude. I love him to pieces because he's just completely unintelligent and is oblivious to everything. So we walk into the room, we find a really mangled up dead body, and then we hear noises coming from the bathroom, so we naturally go to check that out, because, we've seen monsters everywhere, and there could be any variation of these monsters literally anywhere in the building that could have the potential to just jump your shit. But yeah, we'll check out the creepy noise in the bathroom, because that's a good idea. It turns out it's just Eddie throwing up because of the body, and he's very adamant that he didn't do it, which is already kind of like, but we didn't question you about that yet, bro. We didn't ask that. We didn't ask. So anyway, he tells us that he didn't do it. He didn't do it. It was like that when he got here. He wouldn't hurt a fly. He's trying to tell us that he's harmless. And actually, one of the most interesting things about this scene is the way that camera work is used to make Eddie seem weak, and sort of like lower the defenses and like make his like, oh yeah, okay, no, yeah, he's probably fine, Maybe he's just nervous. Maybe he just doesn't want to take the blame for something he didn't do. It's perfectly acceptable. This is a very stressful situation. Could just be freaking out. And the way that it's done is that the camera angle is always in James's favor. You are above Eddie. You are always looking down onto him. In every scene that we see Eddie, you are always looking down on him, except for the last scene where you see him. But we'll talk about that in a second. That's much later on in the game. Anyway, so we encounter Eddie, and yeah, he's kind of freaking out in the bathroom. He tells us about something. I don't exactly remember what he tells us about that makes us go check it out. Let me check. So But it turns out he doesn't actually tell you anything. He just sits there and complains and complains. He tries to constantly defend his innocence, and then he's like, yeah, I'm not from here, I didn't do anything, there was monsters running around, and I just can't do this like that, and, which is a little sus, but I'm giving the benefit of the doubt for now. So we keep on moving through, we move through the rest of the apartment building until we wind up locked in a fucking stairway with Pyramid Head, of all people, and he just walks towards you. He just keeps walking toward you, and yeah, he doesn't stop. He will attack you. You just kind of gotta run around in circles for a little while, and then eventually he'll walk into the flooded staircase and just disappear. This is what I mean with this game will just fuck with you. By the way, you can't kill him. You cannot kill him here. He will just withstand all your attacks. Completely. You can't do anything to accelerate this scene. It's randomly time-based, and I think the longest it can go on for is about 2 minutes. And then he just dips. Like, yeah, I'm gone, bro. I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna dip. I'm gonna go. Bye. And he leaves us, and there you go. So James keeps on moving. He moves through a few more locations until eventually he makes his way to the waterfront, where he believed that he was supposed to be going, because that's where they wanted to go for their honeymoon, with Mary, of course. And he finds somebody that looks remarkably like Mary on the waterfront. Maria. Maria is kind of a complicated character. We can't tell if she's real or not, and the game likes to keep it very eluded as to whether or not she is real. We never really find out if Maria is real or not, because James is sort of continuously deteriorating in his mental state throughout the game, and Maria is one of the main accelerants for that. We will go on to see her die multiple times. We will go on to, have her yell at us. We will go on to have her, be glad to see us. She's very much built to toy with James's emotions, and she does that really well. Essentially, she just looks like Hot Mary. I'll put us side by side up here so that you can kind of see what I mean. She's also a stripper, which is kind of supposed to allude further, and I think the real symbolism behind this one is, obviously, when your wife is dying, you don't get much time in the bedroom. So, obviously, James probably had a lot of pent-up erotic feelings. I fucking hate the way I said that. But James probably had a lot of built-up desires beyond that point, and he wanted somebody to take it out on, but his wife was still alive. He's not gonna bang somebody when your wife has a slim chance of surviving. Plus, he loved her. So that was probably another factor in it. So, yeah, this just kind of emphasizes that, I guess. Which is yet another dive into the mind of someone like James. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that probably got permission from their significant other to go and satisfy themselves with a partner, after they found out they were gonna die and they weren't gonna have the energy to boink anymore. I hate YouTube censorship. It's like, don't pander to children. You have an app for children. Just put them all on there, please. I want to be able to talk freely about stuff without having to censor every other word because it's offensive. Or then it gets age restricted and then I can't share it to as many people, which also sucks. I don't know if this video is going to get age restricted. It really kind of depends on stuff, I guess. We'll see. James keeps going through Silent Hill, now with Maria in tow. And this time, they're heading for the Lakeview Hotel, I believe. And along the way, is it called the Lakeview Hotel? I feel like it's called the Lakeview Hotel. We're gonna go with Lakeview Hotel, but I'll look it up later. I'll correct myself on screen now if it's wrong, but for the rest of the video, it's the Lakeview Hotel. Because it does look out onto the lake, so, yeah. So they're moving through Silent Hill and making their way towards the Lakeview Hotel when all of a sudden they find themselves in a hospital. Brookhaven Hospital. Not Brookhaven. Is it Brookhaven? Not like Roblox Brookhaven. Is it Brookhaven? I'm pretty sure it's Brookhaven. Brookview, Brookhaven, I'm gonna Google this. Is indeed Brookhaven. Damn. Guess we know where the Roblox got that idea. We go through this hospital, which inevitably gets spooky. Gets super spooky. We run into Angela again, who is being harassed by the thing that I mentioned. Or is that just after this area? I don't remember exactly when she gets attacked, but it's either within the hospital or like in the basement of the hospital, or like when you move into the hospital. Anyway, Maria's still with you, but she's not feeling great, so you decide to lie her down in order to, give her 5 minutes to rest. You wander on alone, and then when you do eventually reunite with Maria, she will yell at you for leaving her behind, even though it was her idea. Nice. You keep moving through the rest of the hospital. Things are going all over the place, and then Maria and you are in the basement of the hospital, trying to find an escape route, because it's gone into the other world and all that jazz. Then you get chased by Pyramid Head. Yay. Maria gets shanked. Yeah, despite the fact that she's not supposed to die in this sequence, if you get caught up on by Red Pyramid Thing, he'll kill her. And then you'll have to restart from your last save point, which doesn't really make any sense, because if you're gonna kill her off anyway, why make us do the convoluted run? I mean, her death scene is pretty sad anyway, so I mean, you could just shift some stuff around. I mean, I'm sure it'd be fine. But anyway, this is the first time that Maria dies, and after this, we try to continue on our way to the hotel, but along the way, we sort of run into another roadblock. So we double back, and we find the Silent Hill Historical Society. And this is where shit gets real. Not only have you been moving through the dark for the last roughly 20 minutes, trying to make your way from the hospital all the way up to the goddamn fucking, to the hotel, yeah, you get jumped at random. I'll play one of the encounters on screen now up here, but you can just get jumped at random by random little creatures, and they will just jump over the wall, or jump over a fence, or just jump at you. And it can be like any enemy from the game that's not like big or imposing. Nurses, lying figures, dogs, they can just fucking jump over these big ass fences and get you. And let me tell you, that shit is genuinely terrifying, because there is an ambience sound playing that is creepy. The sheer atmosphere of walking in pitch black with thick fog on top of that while this shit is playing. Do you see what I mean when I say this game is terrifying? They just mastered everything, in the atmosphere to the monster design. Everything about it is perfect. This is why I will not accept anybody speaking bad about Silent Hill 2, because they just mastered shit like this. So you wander into the Silent Hill Historical Society, because you don't really have anywhere else you can go right now. And you're just wandering around, and you notice that this is a little weird. There's some weird notes hanging around. Stuff's getting kind of spooky. I've just realized I've missed over 2 major plot points. So anyway, okay, we're gonna backtrack real quick. So back in the hospital, or just before the hospital, you wander into a bowling alley, Maria waits outside because apparently she hates bowling alleys. And you see Eddie again. He's eating a pizza because apparently there's pizza in Silent Hill. I don't know how it works. And Laura's hanging out with him. And she just kind of calls him a fatty and then runs out the door. But James talks to him. He's very understandably confused at how he can just sit there and eat pizza at a time like this. But regardless, he does his thing, and you have a conversation between the two of you. Eddie just seems really nonchalant for the situation he's currently in. You think you would be looking for an escape route from Silent Hill, but apparently not. Everybody's just fine to sit there and
Eat pizza.
which is surprising to me. I definitely started to twig that there was something weird with Eddie at this point. I had already twigged that there was something weird with him a while back, to be perfectly honest, but this just confirmed it, because how are you going to be chill when there's abominations roaming around town, and you can just sit there and eat a margarita? Just chill as fuck, So you run back outside to see if you can find Laura, to see if she stopped outside, or if she just kept running. And you do run into Maria, who tried to catch up with her, but just didn't quite make it. She got past her. She's a fast little kid. We'll just say she's really fast. Really, really fast. And she's doing her thing, running off, and you guys go after her, which is the reason that you go into the hospital, by the way, because you suspect she went into the hospital. So that's the reason that you went to the hospital. For a minute there, it took me a minute to remember why you actually went into the hospital in the first place. Completely forgot about that. In the hospital, there's actually a room in the bottom floor after everything turns into the nightmare world, where you encounter Eddie one more time. I think I've got this order of events correct. Long story short, you wind up seeing Eddie again, and I'm just gonna play the scene in full. At this point, I can get demonetized, guys. I don't make money off of my YouTube channel. I can get demonetized. I can show you things in full. It's incredible. All right.
Killing a person ain't no big deal. Just put the gun to their head. Pow! You killed him? But it wasn't my fault. He made me do it.
Calm down, Eddie. Tell me what happened.
That guy, he had it coming. I didn't do anything. He just came after me. Besides, he was making fun of me with his eyes, like that other one.
Just for that, you killed him?
What do you mean, just for that?
Eddie, you can't just kill someone because of the way they looked at you.
Oh yeah? Why not? Till now I always let people walk all over me. Just like that stupid dog. He had it coming too.
Eddie?
I was just joking, James. He was dead when I got here, honest. Anyway, I gotta run.
You're going out there alone?
Yeah.
Eddie?
So yeah, naturally, we're a little bit weirded out by this behavior. And when you move a couple rooms forward, Eddie is actually in a freezer room. And he starts yapping again. He's going off on one about how everyone hates him and he had to do it. And, he was looking at him funny again. And, he keeps pulling that. And then he looks at James and he's like, you know what? I fucking hate you. He decides to attack James with a revolver, which I'm sad that we couldn't pick up the revolver and use it as another weapon. I would have preferred that over the hunting rifle. The hunting rifle's good, don't get me wrong, but I would have preferred a revolver over the hunting rifle. Anyway. And you kill Eddie, sadly, and then you keep moving on, and then you come out of the hotel after Maria dies, and then you go into the Historical Society, where you jump down a hole, because this is Silent Hill, and everybody has to jump down holes. And this is where one of the most nightmarish, dream sequence, bizarre, goofy, it's really, really unhinged. This section of the game is very hard to describe. Essentially, you're moving through a nightmare labyrinth, and you have to solve different puzzles to make your way through. There's a lot of really weird different sections of this labyrinth, and in one of the rooms is Angela again, and she's all messed up and she's a little pissed off. I actually forgot to mention, much earlier in the game, back in the apartments section, you do see Angela in the apartments, and she's just lying on the floor with a knife. She talks about committing self-deletion. Thanks, YouTube guidelines. And James says, "Give me the knife." Which Angela's like, you know what, that actually sounds like a really good idea. But then she trips out, screams like a kid, and then just gets really weird. And I think this is sort of an element of rage regression, which can be a very common thing for people who have suffered trauma. As a way to cope, they mature very fast. And so sometimes they will mentally regress to a more childlike view of the world. It's not like a weird thing, it's just like a trauma response thing. They don't really have much control over it, and I do know people who do age regress. If you want to look into age regression, here are a couple of websites about it. Probably just have a Wikipedia page up too, because it's probably going to explain it better than I could. But Angela shows some serious signs, pretty much from this scene onward, that there's something seriously wrong with her. Something happened to this poor girl, and we don't know what. So we come to the rescue in this area, very small bathroom, very scary, very cramped, and we start fighting this fucking thing on a frame. It's got Daddy in its name. I don't remember what it's fucking called. But you kill it, and then Angela goes off on one of you, saying that, you shouldn't have done that. Why did you do that? Starts really getting mad at you. Like, she gets pissed, bro. Like, she is not holding back. And then I think she does apologize, and then she runs off. She leaves. And, you keep going, you wander through, you somehow wind up in a police station-like level, which was weird. And then you finally pop up at your final destination, Roseview Hotel. The Lakeview Hotel. The Rosewater... I don't fucking know. We're calling it Lakeview. The Lakeview Hotel. The penultimate area of... Not the penultimate area. Well, technically the penultimate area. There's a little section... It's like Lakeview Hotel Part 2. If you get what I mean. It's another weird-ass nightmare world sequence. Stay with me here. Alright. So, you're making your way through the hotel, you encounter Laura again, where she does the annoying piano thing. She gave me the biggest fright of my life with that jump scare. You wander around, you're trying to navigate, you find out that there's a cassette tape that you left, in Silent Hill, that was you cataloging your honeymoon with your wife, which is gonna be nice for you to have as a little souvenir. So, you decide to track it down, you find it, and then you're like, you know what, I should check if this busted-ass old tape works. I believe at some point during all of this, there's a segment where you have to go into the basement. Holy shit, the basement of Lakeview Hotel. Scary as shit. You don't have any weapons. You don't have any healing items. You don't have anything. You are forced to go down there with nothing. And there are enemies down there. And not ones that are easy to kill. Which, you can't kill them because your bare fists don't count as a weapon. Because, apparently he doesn't know how to throw hands like, Travis Grady does. You'll get that joke if you're a Silent Hill fan. You continue through the hotel, eventually finding a room with a cassette tape player that works. Hey. That's good, right? Yay. So, you plug in the tape, and the tape begins to play, and James is just reminiscing about his wife until the tape takes a weird turn. On camera, on screen, no holds barred, we see James kill his wife. Smother her to death with a pillow. Plot twist, bitch. This whole sequence was horrifying for me. I had suspected that Jamesy Boy had done something wrong, or there was something going on, but I didn't expect that he'd fucking killed his wife, dude. It's genuinely one of the coolest plot twists in gaming history, and if you look back at it, just wow. Just wow. Just wow. Fucking wow. Okay? That's all I gotta say to this. And it's really well executed. So you keep continuing through the hotel, and then we get one of the most pivotal scenes of Silent Hill. The flaming staircase with Angela. This is one of my favorite scenes in gaming history, and for that reason, I cannot do anything except let it play out, because this is one of the most heartfelt tributes to the struggles of people with survivor's guilt and who have previously experienced any kind of like real, I'd say like just trauma in general. This is one of the most beautifully written scenes in video game history. Cue the clip.
I was looking for you. Now you're the only one left. Maybe then I can rest. Mama, why are you running away? You're not my mama. It's you. I'm sorry.
Angela, no.
Thank you for saving me. But I wish you hadn't. Even Mama said it. I deserved what happened.
No, Angela, that's wrong.
No, don't pity me. I'm not worth it. Or maybe you think you can save me. Will you love me? Take care of me? Heal all my pain? That's what I thought. James, give me back that knife.
No, I won't.
Saving it for yourself?
Me? No, I'd never kill myself. It's hot as hell in here.
You see it too. For me, it's always like this.
And that scene right there solidified my love of Silent Hill. In the ending that I get, we finally approach the rest of the stairs after leaving Angela, because she, as we saw, she just blatantly walks into the flames. Nice. She walks into the flames, she disappears, we leave, we continue our way through. Except now, the doors don't work. They take you to random locations throughout the hotel, and you kind of have to figure out which door takes you where to solve the puzzle and find the stairs. And once you do, you finally reach the roof of the Lakeview Hotel, and you see Mary. Except it's not Mary, it's Maria dressed like Mary, because she's gone batshit psycho, and is somehow alive again, because she died again, also. And there's actually a sequence in the start of the hotel where you kill the Pyramid Heads, and they kill Maria, and it's kind of all out of order. You probably have to watch somebody a little more experienced about talking about these things than me to fully understand what's going on. But long story short, Maria shows up in the basement area thing maze that we were talking about before, that is in the bottom of the Silent Hill Historical Society. She's in a cage, and she's saying some weird stuff to James. It doesn't really make no sense. It's just weird stuff. Pyramid Head shows up, kills her again, then you leave, then you enter the hotel, and then it turns out in the bottom room of the hotel, right before you go up the stairs to face whatever it is that's on the roof, you have to watch the Pyramid Heads kill Maria. Yes, there's more than one, there's two. You have to watch these two Pyramid Heads kill Maria, and then you have to fight both of them. Yeah, you have to fight two Pyramid Heads at once. This is genuinely one of the hardest fights in the entire goddamn game, because you gotta try and fucking pray that you can keep your attention diverted between the two of them. Genuinely one of the most tense battles in all of gaming history, to be perfectly honest. This game's got everything. Hard boss fights, good story. I mean, come on. I wouldn't be surprised if there was a gaming awards for, like, 2001. Like, if there was a game awards like we have now for back then, it would have won Game of the Year. Easy stuff. Alright, final chapter. So, we troll back upstairs. We trot back upstairs. We're back to where we were before. Obviously, Mary is dressed there, but it's not Mary, it's Maria dressed like Mary, and then when you reject Maria, she gets all mad, and then she turns into a fucking monster. Display monster on screen here, please. And, yeah, then you have to kill her. Yay. If you succeed, then what happens next is entirely dependent on the ending that you have gotten throughout the game. And there are multiple endings, because it wouldn't be a Silent Hill game if there weren't more than one ending. And there are 6 in total. I, and most people out there, got the leave ending, which is where, by keeping James's high... James's high? Am I high? I don't know. You have to keep James high on health. You have to look at the letter from Mary more than once. Like, you have to look at it a couple times throughout your playthrough to kind of... Or it's either that or the picture of Mary. You got a couple things in your inventory that you got to stare at, depending on what ending you want to get. You have to not speak to Maria when she is in the hospital and you've left her. Or you can, but you have to do it very few times. And if you meet most of these requirements, I think if you meet like 2 out of the 3 requirements, you get the leave ending, where Mary lays out on her bed and you confront the spirit of your dead wife, who tells you that she wanted to pass. She was ready to go. It was only cruel to keep her alive. She was just sat there dying. You did her a favor. And I think that's beautiful. I think that's absolutely beautiful. It's probably the most poetic ending. It's the good ending, really. It's the good ending, you know? It's a classic. Everybody loves a good ending. But there are 5 more. My bad, I almost said 4. There are 5 more endings, and all of them are as weird as the last. First up, we gotta talk about the dog ending. You actually end the game early for this one. Just outside of the Lakeview Hotel, there is actually a doghouse. And if you interact with this doghouse after picking up 2 items in New Game Plus, you will find out that a dog was controlling the entire events of the game. It's a little Shiba Inu. He's fucking adorable. I forget what his name is, but he does have one. Which is the most weird ending of the game. It was obviously meant to be a joke ending, but there is another joke ending that involves UFOs. In this ending, Harry Mason from the first game shows up and kidnaps you with the aliens from the first game of that UFO ending, which is a weird ending. We can assume that it's supposed to go off of the tangent of the lead ending, but Laura doesn't follow you, I guess. And then you just get ascended into a spaceship and taken away. Very cool. The last three endings are actually serious endings, and each of these is probably more disturbing than the last. So I'm going to go in order of ascending disturbingness so that you can prepare, because the last ending is fucking creepy as shit. It's just weird. Alright, let's get started. So, in one of the endings called the... I'm actually just going to look up all the names real quick, because I want to remind myself of the names of each of the endings, because I don't want to give you the synopsis without giving you the name, so that it's mismatched. First things first, we've got the Maria ending. So, the Maria ending is where you try not to let Maria get beat up by any monsters along. You want to try and, you know, just pay more attention to Maria, really. You want to really, like, make sure that you're keeping an eye on her more, you're protecting from monsters, you're, like, turning around, and then, you know, it's, you know, she keeps yapping and yapping and yapping and yapping throughout the entire course of the game, and you just gotta keep listening to her, and there's a scene in the game where you can hear James and Mary arguing over something, but you can walk away from it, and it's actually an entirely optional area of the game to go to. So if you just skip going through that, you can just leave. And that also helps add to the requirement of the ending. You also have to not really, like, look at the picture of Mary or the letter from Mary to sort of try and get this ending. And essentially what happens is Maria convinces you to leave with her. Yeah, I'm not shitting you. So instead of showing up as a imitation of Mary, Maria just shows up in the ending of the game, and she sort of just tells you, you know, you love me, you want me, I can be your Mary, you know, take me home with you, let's leave, let's forget about all of this. So you do, and then as you're walking to the car, Maria coughs. Coughing was a symptom of the illness that Mary had, which means that Maria still has all the same problems, and history is going to repeat itself. And this ending ends with a rather poignant James telling Maria to do something about that cough. Yeah. It's a cool ending, bro. I don't like this ending. This ending is just kind of like, if you optionally go for this ending, why? James doesn't need a replacement. He needs to confront his feelings. Do a different ending. Next up, we've got the in-water ending. The in-water ending is achievable only in New Game Plus. You need specific items to do it, much like the dog ending. And what happens in this ending, you may ask? Well, James decides that he can't live without Mary. Hold up, I just realized I'm reading the wrong title. This is actually the Rebirth ending. James realizes that he can't live without Mary and decides that he is instead going to channel the power of the old gods of Silent Hill. To do what, I hear you ask? Well, resurrect her. Yep, that's right, the zombie Mary. We don't actually find out what happens during the resurrection. We only know that James is going to resurrect her, and that's probably not a good thing. Which I can attest, that's probably not a good thing, James. So he takes her off in a boat, and you sort of sail out towards what looks like a church in the distance. You can't really tell because there's a lot of fog. And, yeah, you resurrect Mary, I assume. Probably not well. She's probably, like... It's like, I can't remember what that one movie is. What's it called? There's this one movie where, like, you die, but when you get resurrected, you remember how you die, and it leaves you traumatized and, like, a little crazy. And I don't exactly remember which one it is. Exactly, I don't remember the name of the film. But, like, the protagonist's girlfriend dies, and he seeks to bring her back, and he does, but she still remembers dying, and although he tries to wipe her memory of dying, it, like, always comes back to her, and then she herself again. I don't remember the name of the film, though. And I doubt I'd be able to find it just by Googling the synopsis, but if I can, it'll be on screen now. Alright, let's go through the final ending, and the most depressing ending of Silent Hill 2. The in-water ending. This is the actual in-water ending. I was mismatching the two names, because they both revolve in the lake. So, after beating Maria and going upstairs, there's a small exchange between James and Mary. No, there isn't. There isn't an exchange between James and Mary in this one, is there? But James does go up, and I believe that he then leaves, goes out to the car, and opens up the trunk. Have a little guess what was in the trunk. Mary's fucking corpse. That's right, he dug up Mary and decided to come back to Silent Hill. He then proceeds to walk with Mary's corpse to the edge of the Tulka Lake and walk in, inhaling water as he does so, and effectively ending himself with Mary in his arms. Which is one of the... That didn't work. Let me try that again. Which is one of the most disturbing endings to a video game I have ever experienced. And I've played my fair share of horror games, and I'm not saying it's the most disturbing, but it certainly takes a close fucking spot. I'm realizing that now this video is probably gonna run over quite a bit what I was expecting it to, and also I wasn't expecting this to take so much energy and time to do, bro. Like, holy shit. So I'm gonna go off on my little Pyramid Head side tangent. I'm gonna talk about a little bit about... Okay, you know what? I'm gonna make this a whole series. We're gonna do this as a series, because... And we might as well. I decided to rank up talking about Doki Doki Literature Club, because the other franchise I was going to talk about was FNAF, and I don't have the time for that. We're not doing that. Actually, you know what? No. Actually, you know what? Dirty LC might not be the best option here. No, yeah, we're going to stick with FNAF, but we're only going to talk about the FNAF game that I played first. We're going to talk about FNAF 4 after this, because I really like FNAF 4. I'd probably do a little bit of a lore dump, because it was one of the main reasons that I sort of got into the fandom, so we're gonna do that. Okay, let's go. So, finishing up, Pyramid Head tangent. Pyramid Head only makes sense in the second game. Pyramid Head is the embodiment of James's guilt, and it pisses me off that everybody just slaps him all over all their promotional material and says, yeah, look, it's Pyramid Head, it's a Silent Hill game, look, it's Pyramid Head, oh my god, it's Pyramid Head, look at him, he's here, hey, you know, this is our franchise, this is our brand, Pyramid Head, and then every game also has nurses in, which is, I mean, okay, fair enough, fine. The nurse enemy isn't as symbolic, but Pyramid Head, literally the symbol of James's guilt. And you're just gonna slap that shit across the series and then change him a bunch of times as well? Bullshit. Alright. You know what? Fuck it, we're making this a Silent Hill 2 video. I can't be bothered making the rest of this video for now. I probably am gonna make this a bit of a more regular occurrence, because I have actually enjoyed making this video, but it is a lot. And this video was already over an hour long in just raw footage, and I was not expecting it to go for this long. But apparently taking a dive into a game's lore takes longer than I first assumed, so... next up, we're probably gonna do, like, FNAF, but not like a deep FNAF drop. We're just gonna do a little FNAF drop. We're just gonna touched the tip of the iceberg from like my perspective when I first got into it, which was like the FNAF 4 era. So we're probably gonna do like that, and then we'll see what we can do from there. And yeah, rest is history. Rest is history. Thank you guys ever so much for watching all the way to this. I know this is probably gonna take me like 3 or 4 hours to edit and refine and make sure that everything came out right and find all the footage. Hell, with everything put together, I'm probably gonna have to spend about 6 hours just making this video, and that's just the editing portion. I mean, this is gonna take a while with upload, and you know, obviously the time I took to record this is gonna take me like 6 or 7 hours to fully get going. So I really appreciate you for sticking around. I don't know how long the video was, but I hope that you enjoyed every minute of it. If you did, can you drop me a like? Can you drop me a like? Comment what your favorite part of, comment what your favorite Silent Hill game is, or what your favorite horror game is. Maybe I might cover it. You never know. I'm a pretty small channel right now, so I do take requests. If you'd like to see me talk about something or play a certain video game, I am more than fucking down for that. I love taking suggestions, so yeah, just feel free to drop those. And I gotta beg you for it. It must be done. Please, please subscribe. I'm begging you at this point. I really want to make this my career, and I really want to make this go far. But I can't do that without your support, and I promise you that if you do support me, I will be more than grateful, and I will respond to everybody's comments. I'm more than willing to do collabs. If you're a fellow small YouTuber and you want to do a collab, hit me up, bro. But with that out of the side, once again, most of all, I just hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you either were happy to have this in the background. I hope you were happy to listen to it. I hope it made good study noise, Whatever you sat down and watched this video for, I hope it did its job well. And I hope you enjoyed listening to me ramble for a little while. Again, this video did not have a script. This video did not have a direction. I just started talking, and I think it came out pretty well, to be honest. Thank you once again for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, night, or evening. Whatever you're doing, do it to the fullest, and I wish you luck. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye. Took this one after recording, thought you might like this. Dr. Pepper ASMR.